Hey you! Yes, you, the person watching this. If you've received this, then that means I'm humbly requesting you to join an event where I host a private game of a PvP multiplayer game on Roblox that I very much enjoy. Now wait, I know, okay, it's Roblox, a really hard sell, but please hear me out when I say that this is a good game that I want people to try out and play for, I don't know, like a few hours? It depends. If you haven't stopped watching yet, then allow me to give you a quick rundown on the game and some of its features.
Editor's note, I was not very quick with this. I apologize. Anyways, I get most of the basic information out within 3 minutes.
So, you probably want to play Gravedigger, huh? Well, let me be your guide into the dark underground hellscape that occasionally haunts my dreams with the sounds of pickaxes chipping away at cold stone. Gravedigger is a team-based alternate history World War I style game with a near fully mineable environment and a focus on slower, deliberate, and considerate gunplay. To give the absolute most basic explanation on how this game works, and most likely what you'll do, is you go in, you kill the bad guy while trying to capture zones to drain their tickets. It's a simple concept, but there's a lot to it that makes it very fun. Your standard match will consist of 2 teams of up to 16 players fighting to gain control of zones. And whether it's through basic control with up to 3 capture zones, attackers having to break through defenders to take individual zones, both sides clashing in a tug of war, or one side using a train to assist in spawning on objectives, the most hated game mode that has gone through many iterations and is still insufferable in my opinion. These all accomplish the same goal, which is to drain the opposing team's tickets, which also function as their respawn points. If you're familiar with Battlefield, then you already understand half of this. What's different is that instead of just losing the round once your tickets reach 0, your team can no longer respawn and has to retreat back to base and try to survive waiting for the doors leading back to safety to open. Surely your superiors will do the best they can and not leave you to die, right? Alright, time to get a bit more in depth here. If you'd like to know more, then keep watching. This will be the longest segment. I tried to keep this brief. So you know what a match of Gravedigger is about, and what the game modes are. It's basically just capture zone, that's about it. But how you go about playing in those matches is up to you, with a pretty good variety of choices. There are 7 classes in total, with each having either minor changes to playstyle, or some requiring you to play in a certain way that requires a level of brain damage that I deem to be concerning. Soldat. I'll start with your most basic of the basic class, Soldat, the John Gun as I like to call it, as this is the only class that allows you to also have a primary and a sidearm without the use of a perk. I won't be covering those as there's far too many and this video is already like... Their class equipment is ammo pouches which they can throw to teammates or on the ground, giving them essentially infinite ammo. They also have better draw and aim speed compared to the other classes and slightly higher accuracy, making the Soldat Brigade the best shooters and necessary for keeping teammates supplied with ammo on the go. Rook. My personal favorite. The beefcakes that dig like no one else with their improved heavy pickaxe and make the last stand inside your base potentially winnable. Rook is a defensive, but equally offensive if you know how to play them right, class that can use their hammer to build fortifications and dig out enemy tunnels with their class equipment, the mining bomb launcher. It's a tube that goes thump and shoots a low-damage projectile that excavates a large area in any mineable surface. Now you should be thinking, what if I hit someone with the mining bomb? Well, as of making this, it'll knock their ass to the ground. So don't underestimate a Rook unless you want to catch a face full of... Rook's passive is having explosion damage resistance and immunity to being knocked down from explosions. This means that other Rooks and other forms of explosions you're probably not going to die from, and this is clearly because every Rook is built and simply shrugs off the blows with their muscles. Mortician. Obligatory healer that every class system needs. Although clearly they haven't taken any oath to do no harm, as the Mortician is especially terrifying if they know what chemicals to use selfishly on themselves. Morticians perform surgery faster than everyone else, don't slow down to do so, and fully heal allies rather than to half HP and the person then having to wait until they regenerate the rest. Since they wear gas masks, they're immune to gas. Go figure. They're also immune to stimulants thrown at them by enemy Morticians. Their class equipment is medical syrettes. How do you even pronounce that? Syrettes? Okay. These act the same as Soldat's ammo pouches, but instead heals an ally to half HP, the threshold to not require surgery, instantly. Mortician's unique tool is drugs, or stimulant compounds, if you're being technical. Pick however many you want, same stacks of stims, just increased duration, and throw them to disperse them in a small area. They use a limited resource pool, so you can't just throw out stims like free candy, and all but one of these stims are beneficial. But having too many stims in your system will cause some not so nice side effects that need to be cured with your first aid pouch. Luckily you cannot overdose yourself or teammates, but you will put them right at the threshold of overdosing. And the one stimulant that is not beneficial is purely for the sake of causing enemies to overdose by just simply throwing pox at them. It's definitely ethical and not a war crime. God, that's a lot more explaining than I thought I would do. What's the time currently? Okay. Officer. The prideful dickheads that yell at you to do things better than you're already doing them. I really mean that prideful part, as one of the passives Officer has is, well, it's called Pride. Making it to where officers do not wear helmets, and instead wear a stupid, or swag, hat. Their other passives consist of their class icon being visible from much farther away, counting as 2 people for capturing or contesting objectives, and marking enemies they shoot for 10 seconds. This means that they are visible over walls with a small ping above them. Officers' class equipment is their trench whistle. It's loud, it's annoying, but it does give some powerful benefits, so you'll have to deal with it. Their tool is the recon kit, which contains a few things: binoculars, flare gun, and a telescope. All of these are used for spotting the enemy and telling your teammates, I don't want that to be alive anymore. Also, like a million bonus swag points if you play Officer with a sword and pistol. Jaeger. You're evil. You're so fucking evil. Nobody loves you and everyone hates you. Yet in the end, you get the last laugh because you received the prompt that they triggered one of your traps. Jaeger. You're the trap class. Your bullets apply pox per shot, not per bullet, so shotguns don't give you a grueling pox the second that you're hit by a single buckshot shell, which will cause someone to overdose. The gray screen and coughing that everyone hates. Their other passive is being able to detect enemies mining within a certain radius. Don't ask me how far 80 studs is, because that's what is written down as the range, but studs are an accursed form of measurement, so 80 studs, it's a distance, okay? If you see it, you see it. It's not crazy far away, but it's not also very short. Their class equipment is a smoke grenade that also causes pox buildup, so best not to sit inside of the smoke itself. Their tool is the hunter kit. It has everything needed to cause suffering on the enemy team. Traps, bear traps, gas traps, anything. Shotgun shell traps. It's crazy. Lancer. Skipping Lancer for now, they go last. Vanguard. A class that's been reworked a few times because would you guess in a game where you shoot people and they die, people don't like not being able to shoot at someone. That slowly advances towards them and then quickly whips out their pistol or sword and cuts or shoots them to death. Vanguard is a protector of all with their Bulwark shield. Unflinching when shot at thanks to their passive, and having a stronger helmet than most. Essentially making some pistols and weaker calibers incapable of knocking off their helmet from even medium ranges. And their tool is, can you guess? Their shield. It soaks up bullets like a sponge and can be repaired if any of its moving parts gets damaged or destroyed. Although it does require unfolding to enter full guard, and don't expect to be able to shoot back. You can, however, swing a sword. Now Vanguard actually has 2 tools, their shield and their rally banner. The rally banner is just something you throw down and forget about. It gives a small buff to allies around it. I'm pretty sure it's just a reload speed buff and a slight increase to using your first aid pouch on yourself. Lancer. For real this time. Lancer. This is the Psycho class, the one that requires a certain level of brain damage. Lancer is a very strong class, but only in the hands of the insane. To perfectly know where and how to ambush your foes. To know exactly when to rush into the chaos and take several lives before being gunned down. Lancer is the hype, moments, and aura of Gravedigger. No other class invokes the fear of seeing someone drop from the ceiling and then proceed to skewer someone with their heavy lance before being shot dead. This death could have been caused by any other class, but just the sheer fact that this person is running around with nothing but a lance and throwing axes, literally bringing blades to a gunfight, it's lunacy. But this is Lancer's strength. You're the envy of all who don't check behind them, of all who walk down straight tunnels, or even curved tunnels, because then there's pockets to hide in. Lancer has a very high burst kill potential, but can sometimes go minutes without taking a single life if people are aware of your shenanigans and pay attention to the person that's screaming while charging at them with a lance. You can do pretty well on Lancer if you know what you're doing, but I don't expect anyone to really know what they're doing in this event. I mean, I don't even play Lancer, because that is way too crazy for me. Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to actually explain everything that comes with class too, right? Lancer has a passive of 30% melee damage resist, meaning they literally never lose a melee fight. Do not melee a Lancer unless you can see that they're already injured. You will regret it. Lancer's secondary passive is an unbreakable helmet.
Terms and conditions apply.
You will not take the helmet off of a Lancer unless you hit them with an anti-material rifle round, and at that point, more than the helmet is leaving their person. Now you can use this to your advantage, as certain weapons will just knock a Lancer down if you hit them in the head at close range, although don't always count on this saving you. Their equipment is their throwing axes. Since Lancers don't use firearms, for various reasons, this is the best thing you've got to hit someone that's out of slashing and stabbing distance. These things hurt, by the way. They hurt a lot. Lancer's tool is a painkiller injector, a definitely not addictive stimulant that will heal you to half HP, basically the same as surgery, but without having to do surgery, and increase sprint speed. The only side effect is worse handling and accuracy for firearms on the melee class. Now this does bring to attention the accursed and godforsaken thing that is Gunser, but I won't speak of it as it is heresy. Holy. Okay, that's all the class is done. I didn't think that would take this long. What else am I gonna do? Oh, right, okay. How do you get them? It depends on the mode, whether it's a crate spawned in the map at timed intervals, or if it's spawned depending on how poorly your team is doing. Either way, you'll want to keep an eye out for this symbol that will be shown through walls. This will lead you to the crate containing the shock kit. Shock kits are extremely powerful and pretty much impossible to win in a 1v1 against under normal circumstances, due to the fact that they're even given an extra 100 HP, giving them 300, as every standard character has 200, making usual damage thresholds not apply to them. If you're a shock trooper and you lose to someone that isn't using like a shotgun or the judgment, then maybe it's time to hang it up. I don't know. And now, what are the shock kits? This is going to be a lightning round, since I've taken way too long in this already. We're already up to, like, we're over 15 minutes? Stormtrooper. It's Soldat, but even more gun than before. They get an SMG that shreds in close to medium range. It's got good accuracy, and they reload pretty quickly too. Anti-material Trooper. See something alive and don't want it to be anymore? Well, this shot kit for Rook ensures your vision stays clear of impurities, as this rifle hits hard, one-shotting within close and medium range, and will destroy terrain and fortifications built by Rooks. Flame Trooper. Radio Trooper. Officer, but 3 times better with a surprisingly good weapon. The helmet is still not included. Geist Trooper. They literally just captured C. Where did they go? Beware. Trench Trooper. Isn't it so cool that they gave Lancer a gun? One of the strongest guns, I might add. Bulwark Trooper. Vanguard, but with some serious DACA, a deplorable cover, and an LMG with a shield on top of it. And, yeah, that's about it for shock troops. There's the other dreadful stuff that I'm not going to bother showcasing, as that's not really important, but this is about it that you need to know about the game. There's a lot more, but, as I said again, I don't want to take too long for this. In fact, I think that's maybe a little more than what you needed to know. You know what the game is, what it looks like, all the things that you can kind of do in it, and some extra stuff for an easier first experience, since the game doesn't really tell you much of this, like at all. There is a tutorial, but Who knows? Maybe it does cover some of the stuff I've talked about. Anyways, yeah. I guess let me know if you watch the entire video, because then I'll know you got to this really poorly done ending. I don't even know what to end it with, so hey, I'll let you in on a hint. There's a secret somewhere in here that shows a very special comeback mechanic in this game that is probably one of my favorite aspects about it. Although, will it actually happen in the event? Who knows? I'd like for it to be a surprise. Anyways, yeah, that's that. Time to clean up this recording.